Hello folks, welcome back to Canada's Boxing Channel. Well, egg on a minute. So earlier on today, I saw the Chris Eubank Jr. Conor Benn presser, which I believe is held in Manchester in the United Kingdom. And I must say, first of all, as a Canadian, even as an expat Brit, Eubank Benn kids fight does not especially excite me. I mean, of course, Eubank and Benn back in the day, they had a couple of really good fights. I'm massively interested in that kind of rivalry. But the kids, I've never really got behind them because they're both rich kids. They're both, privately educated and whatever. Not that there's anything wrong with going to private school. I wish my parents could have sent me to private school. But hey, But Conor Benn in particular, I don't know what he's trying to do. He sounds like some sort of Essex gangster, maybe? I'm not sure. But I thought he spent most of his life outside of the UK in a non-gangster environment. But anyhow, okay, that's just my take on it. And I understand that in the UK, this is going to be a very popular fight. The names still mean a lot and whatnot. But talking about selling a fight, I thought this was a very funny, I won't say exciting because I'm not sure how real it all was, right? But it was pantomime-esque type behavior. Chris Eubank is actually, I think, naturally a funny guy. He's got a very dry, incisive sense of humor, and he's got a more than passing acquaintance with sarcasm. Conor Benn, on the other hand, seems to be just like a little firecracker waiting to go off. So anyhow, the press conference unfolds, and Adi Oladipo, I feel, I'm not a very big fan of Adi, but he seemed to be sort of out of his depth here, and I actually had some sympathy for him. He's supposed to be chairing this conference, what do you think, and what do you think, and you know the deal, right? Well, Eubank was certainly not going to play to any script. He wasn't having any of it, because at one point, Eddie Hearn starts speaking, and Eubank says, "I don't want to hear you. I don't like you. I don't want to hear you. Just basically just shut him down." So Hearn really kind of has to shut up, right? which alone was amusing, because of course Eddie Hearn is a very articulate fellow who clearly likes the sound of his own voice. He's very good at his job, and it isn't often that people tell him to shut up. Well, of course, Eubank, not interested. Just really dismissive of him, right? But to be fair, Eubank was also dismissive of his own promoter, Shalom, who he had previously sort of said was sort of okay, right? But clearly, Eubank doesn't like Hearn. I say clearly. I must reiterate, how much of this is real and how much of this is pure buffoonery, scripted BS, I have no idea. So I watch this in the same way that I watch a show on Netflix, right? I mean, entertainment value only. If you know these fellows and you can tell me, or in the subs here, that, oh yeah, these guys really hate each other, that's great. Please tell me, because honestly, I don't know, right? But anyhow, Eubank alludes, of course, to the fact that Conor Benn has some problems with tests, failed tests. There's a bit of a pushback from Ben. Ben says, you're not liked either. Even your own dad doesn't want to show up here. Eubank, these are like pellets off a charging rhino, because Eubank seems to be impervious to insults, whereas Conor Benn always seems to take the bait, right? Which is, again, interesting and amusing It's hilarious to me, of course, because, I'm just watching this. I don't have a dog in the fights. I don't actually care much about the fights. And in fact, if I wasn't such an addict who will watch virtually any kind of fighting, I wouldn't watch it. And if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I wouldn't speak about it. Even Possum wouldn't hear me talking about Eubank Benn, right? For those of you who don't know, Possum is my dog. She makes an appearance on here periodically. Anyhow, this carries on with Eubank being the aggressor, if you like, and starts talking about how many eggs Connor must have eaten to fail these tests. And of course, again, this is red rag to a bull, right? Connor, boom, off like a Roman candle. It goes into this dissertation, if that's the right word, I think it is, about how he's been proven innocent, which, that was the first thing that I actually really paid attention to. Because I thought, proven innocent? You've been cleared to fight, but with greatest possible respect, you've not been proven innocent. Connor was saying, if I wasn't innocent, I wouldn't have spent $1 million clearing my name or something like that. But, well, again, not to be overly pedantic about this, but you've not been proven innocent. You have been cleared to fight, and that's wonderful, jolly good. But words matter, right? Anyhow, it's maybe neither here nor there, right? And clearly it doesn't impact the fight, but it was just showing how Eubank can just dig that little needle in, and Connor goes off. Well, all well and good, and they carry on, going back and forth. And, Eubank has basically said, look, I don't want to hear anybody speak but me, well, and Connor, I guess, kind of thing. Which, and he says, this isn't a team sport. It's kind of amusing, really, because his team is there. I mean, so I go, I guess I don't count. Well, so long as I get paid, whatever. But then it comes to the face-off. Well, it clearly was planned. This isn't a spontaneous thing, but because nobody carries an egg in their hand all the time. At least not people I know. I mean, maybe it's a thing. I don't know. I haven't been in Britain for a long time. So maybe it's a thing. Maybe people walk around with eggs in their hands now. Maybe, guns and knives are banned, so eggs are the go-to tool. But anyways, Eubank slaps, and a hard slap, across Conor Benn's face, and it's an egg. Of course, it's all over his face. Well, Eubank is now apoplectic, right? I mean, sorry, not Eubank. I mean, Conor Benn is apoplectic. The little guy is just wild. Security guards are pulling him off, and you see from the thumbnail. And I strongly encourage you to go and watch this because it is amusing. And pandemonium, right? And Nigel Benn, Conor's dad, is involved, and it's just. It's drama with action and everything, but for me it's humor, right? Because, like I say, I am not a fan of either fighter. I don't care about either fighter. I mean, I'm not invested in this. I'm a fan who's watching it and thinking, oh, well, this is selling the fight, that's for sure. Because there's going to be a lot of people who will now be, ooh, yeah, ooh, this is a real beef. Ooh. Well, that's just maybe, But what I found equally amusing, maybe even more so, is afterwards on the DAZN, wrap-up. Eddie Hearn is there, and Tony Bellew's there, and they're talking about this assault. If you've got anything in your hand, and how Bellew is piping in. Well, yeah, if a bit of eggshell goes in your eye, it can scratch your eye, and he's not wrong. I'm not suggesting for a moment he's wrong. I would not want to have eggshell in my eye, but it was just sort of I'm sorry, I can't resist it. Somewhat overcooked, like it was like, okay, well, yes, it happened. It's hardly assault occasioning actually bodily harm or grievous bodily harm or assault with a weapon or anything like that. It was what it was, right? I mean, and clearly the egg was not hard boiled. That might have been something much more serious. I was just kidding. But no, the egg was clearly not hard boiled because the yolk was all running down Conor Benn's face. But as a way of selling the fight, it was very spectacular. And Eddie Hearn was then saying like, all bets are off, and ooh, you know, like anything could happen kind of thing. And I'm thinking that Eddie Hearn must be overjoyed, right? Because there's going to be a lot of people who are possibly not even big boxing fans, more sort of, you know, I'll tune in if there's a famous fight going on, who are going to be lapping this up. And yeah, I mean, I think tickets go on sale maybe the end of the week or something like that. It probably will sell out, and it will undoubtedly be entertaining. I'm far more interested in things like the rehydration clause and things like that. But from a pure entertainment perspective, yeah, is the beef real? Let me know. Both these chaps will make a shit ton of money. If the beef is real, then that could make for a more interesting fight. If the beef is not real, well, it's done. It's served its purpose, right? So, it was amusing. I'm pleased that I saw it, because must confess I was feeling a little bit sort of down about, you know, this Dubois business and the sort of like the boxing politics. It does get you down a little bit, because it's sort of like same old, right? But to see something that was entertaining like this, it was a little bit like watching the wrestling, you know, where the Undertaker and Hulk Hogan were, you know, at war or whatever. I mean, it was amusing, and it was the kind of thing that I'm sure will get a whole bunch of people excited enough to go and part with their pound notes, pound coins, I guess, and other people to pony up their dollars or whatever for to watch it on streaming services. So it was amusing. Let me know what you think. Did you think it's serious? Did you take it seriously? Do you think this is just a load of bollocks, or were you egged on to watch the fight? Ha ha. Okay, please like, share, subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Wherever you are, have a wonderful day, and watch out for those eggs. Cheers. Bye-bye.